Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. Do you know what? I'm just watching this Justice League trailer behind me and I love this scene so much. And when I saw this final trailer, I thought, wow, look at Henry. Doesn't he look beautiful? And look at this beautiful emotional moment. I can't wait to see this film. And all that promise disappeared when Zack Snyder was removed and Joss Whedon was brought in to complete an impossible task, which is reshoot a handful of scenes, still using predominantly Zack's movie. It was an absolute mess. And we have been fighting for this Snyder Cut ever since. Now, I've just found this article on Screen Rant. It's called 5 Ways for Warner Brothers. Let's start again. You probably noticed I can't read this stuff, but never mind. I'll start again. 5 ways Warner Brothers can try to appease Snyder Cut fans. Right, let me be clear here. I don't want postcards, I don't want scarves, I don't want books. I want to see Zack Snyder's definitive vision of Justice League. So let's read this article, right? Actually, Screen Rant, I don't always agree with them, and I think they're kind of a bit annoying sometimes, but they have really been very supportive about the Snyder Cut. So let's read this. Warner Brothers and DC need to find a way to appease fans clamouring for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Since the release of Justice League over a year ago, when fans first saw the extent of the changes the movie had gone through after Joss Whedon took over production from Zack Snyder, the movement to release the Snyder Cut has made itself known on social media and in the real world. What? Social media is not the real world? How dare you? We know Zack Snyder completed 100% of principal photography. Funny, isn't it, now that they're all admitting that? Getting all the footage he needed for his cut of the movie and made it well into post-production before leaving the project. So it is possible to get the movie finished for a release, mostly by finishing in VFX. The only problem is Justice League wasn't very successful. What's that got to do with anything? And Snyder's other DCU entries were also divisive. Yeah, they still made a lot of money. Right, so WB isn't in a rush to release an alternate version of the movie. No, where you're wrong. You're wrong. I think they are. Anyway, in fact, there are currently no plans to release it at all. Now, this is really funny, right? This is really funny. They don't know that. You don't know that. The reality is here, the noises we're getting from some areas that Warner Brothers are talking to is the reverse opposite. What Jason Momoa has been saying publicly, he wouldn't be saying publicly unless he had the green light from Warner Brothers. So, you know, don't give me all that nonsense. Right. The Release the Snyder Cut campaign isn't going to fade away anytime soon. You better bet your bottom dollar on that. Anytime soon, and Warner Brothers will eventually have to find a way to appease them. Here are a few ways they can do that. In other words, we're a bunch of mugs you just throw us some peanuts, right, and we'll go away and we'll be good little children. No, right. One of the biggest drivers for those that want the Snyder Cut is the lack of closure. Man of Steel and especially Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice were building toward a number of payoffs that similarly never came in Justice League. This is true. This has led fans on a year-long quest to find a true story of the Justice League, uncovering evidence of numerous story changes in the process. And it's funny how we've been able to find this stuff with relative ease. Anyone would think someone's been releasing it. Maybe Zack on the quiet, or maybe Warner Brothers are being very careful and very clever and are actually marketing the Snyder Cut. Hey, I know this industry. If Warner Bros. Were to simply release an original Chris Terrio script, fans could simply scratch the itch to find out what Justice League's true original story would have been. Yes, that would be awesome, but it wouldn't be enough. Combined with production photos and storyboards, still not enough. And other script notes from Snyder, still not enough. The book would be a great resource for anyone looking to understand Snyder's original vision. It also doesn't replace the potential of the actual cut, but could in fact be seen as a supplement for when the cut eventually does come. Hey, great idea. It is rare for Screen Rant to come out with good ideas, so we better applaud them. Zack Snyder meticulously storyboards all his movies ahead of time, very true, then has storyboards bound into a leather book for a shelf in his office. When it's all said and done on their own, they may not be quite as digestible as a graphic novel, but so much of the work is already done. So it wouldn't be outrageous for DC to turn those storyboards into a proper graphic novel version of Snyder's original Justice League plan. Now that would be awesome, but it wouldn't make up for no Snyder cut, but hey, that would be awesome. Take my money now. With Snyder's famous cinematic visuals, the project could translate very well to graphic novel format, not only providing fans with answers about the movie's original plot, but also demonstrating the visual spectacle Snyder had in mind before he left the project. Depending on the desired look, Snyder's minimalist storyboards could simply be fleshed out and coloured, or he could be paired with a comic book artist. In fact, Snyder just gave DC co-publisher Jim Lee, who inherited Jeff Johns' vacated chief creative officer responsibilities, a major shout-out on the Vero social network. He did. That was very exciting. And so that's a good point. Lee's art style might match Snyder's aesthetic more than any other artist. So a Zack Snyder written Jim Lee drawn book featuring the story of the Snyder Cut would conceivably be a big draw, even attracting readers who haven't campaigned for the Snyder Cut. I think there's a lot of people who haven't got the passion we have who want to see it. And that, my friends, is that article. So what do you think? When I go on Facebook, I seem to find articles that are really odd. I don't know if that's new or old, but I like the article. I like the idea of kind of having a Snyder Cut merchandise before we get the Snyder Cut. Listen, whatever they say, what anyone says, the Snyder Cut is coming. I can sniff it in my bones. I'm hearing it from sources. Everyone knows this is happening. Warner Brothers are a powerhouse. Warner Brothers are gangsters. If they wanted this silenced, you've got to think about this, right? All they had to do at any time is come out and lie. It doesn't matter. They could have come out officially and said, there is no Snyder Cut. You will never see it. We're moving on from all that. We're moving on from Zack Snyder. We thank him for everything and we move to the future. They have never said that. They could have done this so many times. Why haven't they done this? Because they are marketing the Snyder Cut very cleverly. This film could make a hell of a lot of money. I think this film could make more than the original cut. The theatrical cut, should I say. So I'm very interested. Maybe you can answer me why Warner Brothers haven't just said, no Snyder Cut, we're moving on. Because they are planning on releasing it. How, when, what, if, I don't know. But I do know one thing, and I am confident about this, the Snyder Cut is coming.